But most Black women are overweight or obese. Well, you know why? Because you can't afford a gym membership for them. And they would rather eat than be with a broke man. They would rather sit down and prepare a meal for their kids and their family and eat and get fat because y'all aren't worth being skinny for. What we gonna be looking good and snatched for to go get some coffee? Oh, I got to go to the gym. I might get invited out for some coffee tomorrow. Let me go get my brows waxed so I can get this coffee. Ooh, girl, I gotta go. I can't. I'm fasting, girl. I'm going to Applebee's tomorrow. What do we have to be skinny for? Y'all ain't taking us nowhere where we got to fit into something to look extra good. Y'all ain't taking us to no fundraiser. We ain't going to no gala. Y'all ain't getting no private jets to jet us off. Y'all ain't surprising us with plane tickets nowhere where we got to be snatched. Y'all trying to take us to Applebee's and to your mama house.
Imagine a world where a woman's health is dependent on where a man will take her on a date and dependent on if a man is wealthy enough to lose weight for. That don't make no sense. And there was so many women in the comment section of this woman's video. Yes, sis, tell them, "Ooh, you got to answer for everything. I just love you." And I'm sure you love being single because that's exactly what you're going to be, continuing on with the same exact rhetoric. It don't make no sense. Somebody has a comment that, that about most Black women being overweight or obese. And the response is because a man doesn't have enough money for the gym membership. Y'all be boss chicks. That's why I'm confused. Y'all be the ones that's boss chicks. Y'all, you could buy your own Birkin. You could do this. You could do all these things more than these men out here. And you can't afford your own gym membership? Y'all can afford going to drinks for brunch. You can afford continuously buying the food that got you into this place, but you can't afford your own gym membership? This is foolishness. The truth is, you don't want to lose weight. You want to be comfortable. And that's a problem even stemming into the relationship is comfortability. You don't want to grow or evolve because it's uncomfortable. You don't want to be submissive and have somebody check you when you're wrong because it's uncomfortable. You don't want to go to the gym and lose weight because it's uncomfortable. You don't want to face the reality of what's going on in your relationships or the problems that you have because it's uncomfortable. It's a trend. You don't want to be uncomfortable. That's the problem. You talking about somebody else can't buy the gym membership for you. Oh, he don't got no private jet. How are you going to attract somebody with a private jet? What are you talking about? When you look at these men who are flying women out and doing all these things for these women and, these women who are in the house, or even if you look at these housewives in certain neighborhoods, all day long, they at the gym, they at the this, they at the that, because they are trying to maintain the same person that attracted this man. Y'all be wanting that man and are nowhere near the attraction level. Now, I'm not talking about the men who, like I always say, will push a skinny woman to the floor to get with a thicker woman. I'm not talking about those type of men. We're talking about the majority. How can your health be dependent on somebody else's paycheck? That's so foolish. That's so foolish. And if we want to be honest, a lot of women are so unhappy with themselves that they eat their feelings. It makes them happy. It satisfies them. Because one, either they're not being satisfied in other ways or there's trauma attached to their eating. There's trauma attached to it. Sometimes they're trying to make up for lost times because they weren't financially stable enough when they were growing up. And so now they reach for the food that they were never able to buy constantly. Sometimes it's hormonal. Sometimes you're using the pleasure that you're getting from the food to replace the space of a man. Again, because you don't feel like getting on the same page. You don't feel like. That same food that you're prioritizing, that's so important to you that you won't lose weight until you get with somebody, is attached to your anxiety, to your stress levels, to your depression. That same food. It feels good going in, but you don't know what it's doing to you. Oh, you know what? They ain't worth getting skinny for. You're not worth it either. You're not worth it. You don't look at yourself and think you're worth being healthy for either. Oh, I ain't getting skinny for him. He don't deserve no skinny woman. You know, he dusty. He not worth it. You're not either. What does that say about you that you won't do it for yourself? What does that say about you? I'm not going to be snatched to go get coffee. Can we listen to the ignorance? This doesn't make any, but you know what always gets me with these videos? I understand the ignorance or people just saying stuff that don't make no sense, right? But it's the people, there's like so many people that agree with this. And I keep trying to connect the dots. I'm like, if 1 + 1 is 2, and if 5 + 5 is 10, how is it that all of you are getting a completely different number than I'm getting? Because you really believe it. This woman is saying these things and you are eating it up. Just like you eat up the food at the buffet. Just like you can't miss brunch. You spend the money on the hair, on the lashes, on all these things. But you can't prioritize a gym membership for your own health. You think that being overweight or having weight on you and eating is going to harm the next person. Oh, you don't deserve no one skinny. I'm going to keep on eating. You're only hurting yourself. You're only harming yourself. How is it that you don't realize that? I don't get it.
Welcome, everybody. This is Brother Eric Nelson, and I want to thank you for joining us today. The following statistics emanate from blackdemographics.com, Pew Research, the Center for Disease Control, etc., etc. 64% of American black men are middle to upper class, with more on the way. Incarceration rates of American black men is declining because black men are not marrying black women. Thus, court fraud is no longer as prevalent. American black fathers are the most involved with their children, whether they live with them or not. 54% of American black men do not have children. Let me read that statistic again. 54% of American black men do not have children. 33% of American black men are married. That means that 88.48% of black men are accounted for as not being reckless with their seed. This is also referenced with the fact that there is no more black male sperm, or very little, in the artificial insemination clinics. This did not just happen overnight. This happened slowly over a period of years. 13.2% of unmarried American black men are fathering 69.4% of out-of-wedlock children in the so-called black community. Ladies and gentlemen, that is just plain nasty. If the percentage of unmarried American black women who are impregnated by other cultures is taken into consideration, then the percentage of American black men who do not have children rises to 57%. According to the national statistics from 2020, more than 20 million black babies have been aborted since 1973. I'm going to have to read that one again. It always gives me pause for reflection. The term wild hyena or wild hyenas is very well deserved. This is so vicious and brutal that these are indeed spiritual wild hyenas. According to the national statistics from 2020, more than 20 million black babies have been aborted since 1973. If we were to siphon those totals down to 10 to 15 million American black babies allowed to live and prosper, American black people could write their own ticket right here, right now, on American soil, versus always whining and complaining about what others should be doing on their behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a shame and a disgrace before God Almighty. Why would any man seek marriage out of such a horrible, treasonous, murderous demographic? The real problem with the decline of the so-called black community is the persistent murder of innocent black babies. The apex was finally reached in 2009 when the birth rate of American black babies started to decline, and the downward spiral has remained consistent to this present day. Now, we do not mark time correctly. We believe in 24-hour days, which is an illusion of time. We've allowed time to be stolen from us, when in fact there are 32 hours in a day, but that's a totally different topic. So the way that we mark time, it is allegedly the year 2023. Point of conjecture number one. American black women are the leading demographic when it comes to infant deletion. Number two, American black women are the leading demographic when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases. Number three, American black women have increasing incarceration rates. Number four, American black women have the highest divorce rate. Number five, American black women have the highest out-of-wedlock birth rate. Point of conjecture number six, for 70 years, American black women have proclaimed to the rest of the world that a black man ain't shite, as highlighted by Sister Scheherazade Ali in the early 90s. Point of conjecture number seven, black women are being evicted at record-setting rates, and this includes the college-educated black women who received government assistance in order to go to college. Many of them were on government assistance, and they lived their entire adult lives paying between some of them $30 to $50 a month in rent. On government assistance, they received traveler's checks. When welfare first started in the black community, a black woman could receive all of these benefits, including food vouchers, as long as the black man was not living in that home. Number eight, American black women brag about poisoning black men to death. Number nine, American black women openly brag about having black men falsely arrested. Number 10, American black women openly brag about having black male babies deleted. Number 11, American black women openly brag about being sexually aroused while witnessing white male police brutality against black men. Number 12, American black women openly, and they've done this for many decades, they openly lie about black men allegedly deleting a black woman every 5.5 hours. According to numerous crime statistics, including the FBI, this has never been true. Imagine you're born into a world and you grow up hearing negativity about a demographic of men that they are violent, that they are reckless with their seed, that they're very abusive. Would you not do everything in your power to stay away from such horrible creatures, and I wouldn't blame you. The good news is that as it relates to black men, none of this has ever been true. Number 13, American black women are the leading demographic when it comes to obesity. Number 14, American black women in general are not arguing to change the fraudulent Article 3 court systems into a constitutionally based judicial process. Number 15, American black women refer to black men as bullet bags. My friends, you might be wondering, where in the world does such extreme disrespect, hatred, and vitriol emanate? The world has been watching as toxic black women, again, I'm not referring to all melanated sisters. I don't refer to melanated soul sisters who you can pair bond with as a black sister. But these toxic black women have alienated huge portions of the world as they insulted women from other cultures, and they seemingly had no consciousness. These are innocent women who've done nothing to them, who don't know them, and they sat there and insulted these women from other cultures, and the world was a little bit taken aback. Where in the world does all this vitriol come from? Well, that's a totally different topic that I may make a video on.
Yes, this is
one
Daddy.
day, but you have to look at it like
Hold on, I'm on the phone. Yes, this is Daddy. Yes, this is Daddy. Yes, this is still Daddy.
Some of the toxic ingredients are what they're doing is they've rejected Yahushua HaMashiach, the Lord Jesus the Christ, and they've rejected him after his resurrection. And so what's happening, they are violating God's natural order. It is unnatural and vicious and cruel and evil. And again, the term spiritual wild hyena is very much apropos. It is very unnatural to destroy the fruit of the womb. There's no way you can get around that. And God is not punishing them. We're in the age of grace. They're doing it to themselves. You cannot cross those particular boundary lines and just walk away scot-free in this life or in the life to come. What's happening is when you do something so heinous and cruel, one will suffer physiological damage, psychological damage, and that's one of the reasons people marvel at this mental illness that is now on full display. You also cannot commit treason against your own people. To destroy 20 million babies and then to turn around and lie on the men from your own culture. Now, I believe we're all from the human race, and there are many different wonderful flavors. But when you commit treason against your own culture, that's something that's going to weigh heavily on your physiology for the rest of your life. So a lot of this stuff you hear, these ridiculous mandates and women who have such so-called high standards as it relates to dating men, that's not really for the men. What it is this is intellectual dishonesty. And these women, this is a form of self-hatred. So what they're doing, instead of being intellectually honest and really dealing with the root of the problem, what they're doing is placing psychological barriers in the way. So these so-called high standards are not really for the men. They are for these women because they hate themselves. Any woman who can deny her own culture, who can just say black men aren't any good, yet they have black fathers. Most of these women are mothers. They have children. It doesn't matter if it's male or female, but to place a child around that type of toxic energy is abusive in and of itself. And again, these women are guilty. Deep down within, they know they're guilty. They are guilty of the most heinous forms of treason before both God and man. And this also is one of the main ingredients that goes into the toxic cake of mental illness. Another main ingredient that goes into the toxic cake of mental illness is that many of these women, you would actually be shocked, are in the occult. They are in the secret covens in your local communities, and some of the stuff they do is absolutely indescribably heinous. And so a lot of the things they're doing is in honor of whatever satanic deity they choose to worship. Most of them are doing this secretly on behalf of their oncoming Messiah, the one the world fondly refers to as the Antichrist. This too, my friend, is a major ingredient that goes into the very toxic cake known as mental illness. So are you getting the picture, my friend? There's really no shortage of toxic ingredients that goes into these spiritually toxic cakes or flavors of mental illness. Another main ingredient, God made a woman to be with a man. And when you deny your true God-ordained biology, and they are proud to go at it alone, but it seems like about 4 months, certainly by that 6-month mark of going at it alone, many of these women blatantly start to lose their minds. Now, the last toxic ingredient I'll go ahead and mention is their food choices, and not even their food choices, but anything that you put into your body. The Bible is a totally different topic, but the Bible indeed starts off talking about what you can put in your body. And in the book of Revelation, there's a Greek word used where we get our modern day word pharmacy, which has to do with what you are putting in your body. So it's these horrible chemicals. I find it very interesting that English did not become a formalized language or a legal language until the 1600s. English being a mixture of Anglo-Saxon, French, and I think West Germanic, and I might be missing one language. And I find it very interesting that as English is being formulated into a language, these wizards and warlocks actually placed spells into the English language. I actually have a video out entitled Secret Spells Woven into the English Language. Well, oddly enough, it appears that most of the toxic chemicals, or if not all of them, are named after ancient demons and or demigods. So my point is that the stuff that you choose to put into your body, whether it's aspirin, whether it's cough syrup, whether it's food, the stuff you drink, drugs, pharmacia, medicine, doesn't matter which names it goes by, but whatever you choose to put in your body, if that stuff is toxic and negative, such as vaccines, you should go and look up what the base ingredients are for over 90% of the vaccines on the markets, where you are bypassing your God-ordained immune system and having stuff injected directly into your bloodstream, and you don't even know what the ingredients are. Well, it appears, my friend, that it's the stuff that you put into your body that makes you more susceptible to witchcraft, to spells. I forgot to mention a very important toxic ingredient that votes very well for mental illness. They actually have a psychological study. I don't know if it's still ongoing, but they were examining porn stars, both male and female. And what the study found out, I think they would go visit them like once every 6 or 7 years or something like that. And I know the study went on for 20 years, maybe more than 20 years, and it still may be an ongoing study. But what they found out was that female former porn stars, the majority of them had inner demons. They had, I can't think of the name of the psychological disorder, but they were hearing voices. They had some major psychological disorders. Women are not made or psychologically or physically built to have multiple or high body counts of sex partners, and this also is what is driving many women crazy. Number 16, toxic American black women, that is to say, like to refer to black men as bullet bags. That would include all black men, including their own fathers, their own sons, their own family members, etc. American black men should continue to solve the problems of the so-called black community. Men were designed to be problem solvers. Black men have been solving the problems of the alleged so-called non-existent black community, because that particular community was destroyed many moons ago by toxic, reprobate, spiritual, wild hyenas. Black men need to keep solving these problems by continuing to disengage mentally, spiritually, and physically from these wild, toxic, reprobate hyenas. Wherever the black man chooses to plant his seed is the black community. So goodbye, forever, toxic, wild hyenas.
People are so inclined to believe that black men are deadbeat fathers that they even question the actual statistics. Why are people so opposed to black men being good? I want to start from the hot topic in these spaces, black fathers. So recently, as you guys know, I put out a video breaking down that black men only 46% of black men have children, whereas 54% do not have children. And also 61% of black women have children, and 59% of black women have multiple fathers of their children. Women who have children, 61%. Men who have children, and they have, remember I said standard error, it's right there, 46%. So there's a 15% difference in regards to how many children black women have and black men have. The study found that a multiple father type of family structure was more common among minority women, with 59% of African American mothers, 35% of Hispanic mothers, and 22% of white mothers reporting children with more than one father. So 59% of black women have children by more than one man. This is backed by statistics. This is not coming from me now, because I know it was very tough for people to digest that a black man could be very educated and he could break down these numbers by himself, which I did. However, when you have the CDC backing this up, there's no refuting that. But what I've noticed is that people are so inclined to believe that black men are deadbeat fathers that they even question the actual statistics. And I've been on a witch hunt to find people who are trying to dispel the narrative that black men aren't deadbeat fathers. And that's crazy to me. It's funny that in our community, in the black community, that we won't even question if the narrative that black men are deadbeat fathers. But as soon as something comes up in regards to saying, well, no, let's hold off on that, black men are actually great fathers. And most black men don't even have children. People will argue you down. They will get pissed off. They will call you misogynistic for bringing the facts and statistics about black men. And the funny thing is, my thought process was that our women would digest the information and be like, you know what? Maybe black men aren't as bad as we thought they were. But the opposite happened. They questioned it. Well, this is false, or, you're misogynistic for even bringing this up or whatever, right? And I'm going to show y'all some proof in regards to what I'm talking about. So this was a post that was on Twitter from the Faithful Black Male Association, Black Men Association. This foundation actually came out back, I want to say maybe in 2013 or 2014. I actually supported these young men, and they had these cards that said Faithful Black Man membership card, just to support them. So they put on their Twitter page And then also the Quintessential Gentleman actually shared it on their Instagram page. They said black men and black men only. This is a non-judgmental call to action. What opinions would you have that would have people like this? So basically, people will be mad at you for your differing opinions. And so this young man, he said, as a black man, you owe it to the world to not create any more fatherless children. You owe the women that, you owe the kids that, and you owe the rest of the community that, right? So basically what he was trying to say is he is going with the narrative that black men are deadbeat fathers. We understand where this is going because he's assuming that we're all just up and leaving the black community. We're leaving our kids, even though the CDC has debunked this in 2018. And also with the updated statistics saying that the majority of black men do not have children, then that tells you that black men are doing the right thing in regards to fatherhood. So since this was a non-judgmental conversation, I decided to put my 2 cents in. I don't even have Twitter. I had to create one because I saw it on there. And so I created a Media Man Twitter page and I posted what I posted on Instagram, which I'm going to show you guys here. So this is what I posted under that picture. And I'm going to go ahead and read it to you all. I'm responding to the meme. You know, what opinion would have people at your throat like this? So I said, the outdated and false narrative that black men are deadbeat fathers. In 2018, the CDC proved that black men are the most involved fathers. And as recent as January 2023, the CDC statistically proved that only 46% of black men have fathered children. Black men are doing just fine in regards to the fatherhood conversation. So now the black community's focus should be on eliminating baby mama culture. If anyone would like to fact check, please visit my page. And the video titled "The CDC Just Proved That Black Women Have Far More Children Than Black Men, It's Not Even Close" has every reference in the description. Lastly, if painting black men in a good light upsets you, before you respond in a negative way, ask yourself why that upsets you, and are you really for our people knowing the truth? The deadbeat black father conversation ends here, and black men should be proud to know that only 46% of us have fathered children, which means the majority of black men don't have children, 54%. I'm proud of you, black men. So that's what I posted on that page. It's just basically what the statistics are saying and what I've been telling you guys over the past, 3 weeks now? So it's a fairly harmless discussion, just telling the truth. And this is what happened. And this is not the only one that had a problem with it. This young woman said, again, this is ridiculous. Thinly veiled misogynoir hatred of black women. Sisters are still the last holdout to dating, marrying, reproducing outside the race. So that's a lie. What I hate the most of all is that you took a productive, positive conversation had by some amazing black men and use it to propagate the goals of white supremacy, which is to divide us. Is that how y'all took my post? Did I say anything that was supposed to divide black people? And I'm learning a lot about social media. I don't know where she got misogynistic. I don't know how she got white supremacy in that. I don't understand it at all. So I responded by saying, the fact that you think me dispelling a false narrative about black men is misogynistic is very telling. What's more positive than seeing that your male counterparts are doing well in regards to fatherhood? This is eye-opening. And I'm learning, like, wow, why are people so opposed to black men being good? I know that sounds crazy, right? But it's funny that our women in particular are mad at the fact that there's new studies that's saying that black men aren't deadbeat fathers. And we are the ones that take care of our children the most, whether we're in the house or not, and that the majority of us don't have children. So I don't understand what the issue is. So, and this is the post that I posted after that. I said, this is not directed towards anyone in particular, but I find it funny that it was so easy for the black community to believe that black men were deadbeat fathers and never questioned that narrative, where that narrative came from. But when I present the statistics saying otherwise and black women need to be held accountable, no one believes what's actually true. You all don't think that's a problem. And that's why black men need to be selfish. Because of that reason right there. Because no matter what we try to do to protect our image, it's always met with hate and vitriol. Even though I'm providing proof that your men are doing well, that's a problem. So that's why I honestly don't have any faith in the black community. I have faith in us as individuals and us being progressive on our own end. However, coming together as a community, I don't think that'll never happen. Because for one, our community cannot accept the fact that black men ain't crap dudes. And they also want to make sure that they believe that black men are trash, even though the statistics prove that we're doing very well. And I'm going to go a little further in regards to dispelling some information that's always been out there. But it's just crazy to me that this happened. I've been waiting to do this for the detractors that don't want to admit that black men, the majority of black men, do not have children. So what we're going to do here is do some public math. So we know the narrative in regards to black fathers. All black men are to blame for black women having children at a wedlock rates, right? That's what we heard. One of the most commented responses in regards to the first statistics that I posted, people were saying, you need to do it by age, because in every group of black men that have children, the number of black men in that category is different. So if you know anything about statistics, all you have to do is average the numbers that they put out. So if you look here, all I did was average these numbers out. So you have 3.1, 15, age 15 to 19. That's how, how many black men have kids, black men and boys, which is crazy. And then you have 24.9%, 62.5%, and then 80.5% in the 40 to 49 category. So the pushback that I received is that people were saying, well, the ages are different in those different categories, so we can't really use that. So, you know me, I went and found the Pew Research tabulations. And let me address this before we move further. If your argument is that we need new or more updated numbers in regards to the statistics, right? Let me put y'all on a little bit of game. So the higher year that we go up, the decrease in childbirths are. So this is for the people who say, well, we need more updated statistics so we can get the accurate numbers. So from child trends in regards to black women are having children at the same ages at which they may be enrolled in school or entering the workforce. I discussed this when I did the breakdown of the education. So fertility rates for black women have declined over the past 10 years. From 2008 to 2018, the number of childbirths have decreased in the black community. So if your argument is to say, well, we need numbers from 2022 or 2023, I'm telling you right now, it won't be in your favor, because the childbirth numbers have decreased every year. So that's why the numbers that I'm using works actually to your benefit, because it doesn't actually really show the full truth in regards to showing the decrease. So if there is a decrease in the number of black children being born, what does that tell you? The number of black men would probably be higher that don't have children. Is that fair to say? We understand each other? Cool. Now we can move on. Because I know there's going to be somebody who, well, that's from 2019 and 2020. It will not work in your favor if we go higher in years. So let's continue. So like I said, I got the U.S. Black population age pyramid. So this actually breaks down the age group of black people in our community from birth to age 90 and plus. As you guys know, the only numbers that we're concerned about in regards to the statistics are from ages 15 to 49. So what I did here was highlight age 15 to 49. And these are the percentages of black men in that category, right? Let me open that up. These are the percentages in regards to the black men in that category. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the percentage calculator to actually check my math, right? So here, let me open this up so you guys can see it even further. So black men aged 15 to 19 account for 3.9% of the 19.91 million black male population, and that's from 2020. right here, this is what I put the number at, right? So I want you guys to see that. So that's 776,490, right? So let's put that percentage in. So 3.9% from 15 to 19. Let's see what that comes out to. Calculate. That comes out, oh my goodness, 776,490. That is the total amount of black men in that age category, 15 to 19. So black men aged 20 to 24 and 25 to 29, I had to put those together. They account for 7.9% of the 19 million black male population. Let's put that number in. 7.9. Very simple. What does that come out to? Same number. Let's continue. So black men aged 30 to 34 and 35 to 39, they account for 6.6% of the black male population. 6.6. There you have it. Same number. Let's go to black men ages 40 to 44 and 45 to 49. They account for 5.5% of the black male population. Here we go. Put that number in. Same number. So let's go here. So now that we got the numbers correct, I'm going to read some of this off. So this is the numbers that I'm going off of. This is the same data that everybody uses in these spaces. I've seen certain panels. They've used these same statistics. Actually, they used one from 2011.
The only stat I was able to find was Pew. And with the Pew, which I would drop in the back, that was the only, and I mean, I search high and low because that's what me and Mistaken do. And that was the only one. And obviously that was in 2011.
This is actually from 2014. But again, like I said, there has been a decrease in childbirth. So I'm telling you right now, if you're going to try and use, we need more accurate data. It will not work in black women's favor because there are less children being born every year. So these are the numbers and all the statistics that I use: 3.1, 24.9, 62.5, and 80.5% for all those age groups, different age groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top. I broke this down and put it on my community tab just for this reason. So if you look here, black men ages 15 to 19 account for 3.9% of the population. And then you have the same number that I quoted. And then if you go down here, 3.1% of black men aged 15 to 19 are fathers. And that's from the chart that I just showed you. So 3.1% of 776,490 is 24,071 men within that age range are fathers. We got that number. Let's go down to 2024. So let's start here. 7.9% of that, the 20 to 24 account for the black male population. Let's go down here so I can move this on a little bit. 24.9% of black men aged 20 to 29 are fathers. 24.9% of 1.5 million comes out to 391,000 plus black men are fathers in that group. 20 to 29. Black men aged 30 to 34, they account for 3.5% of the black male population. 35 to 39 accounts for 3.1%. So if you add that up, that's 6.6%. So you go here from 30 to 39, 62.5% of black men aged 30 to 39 are fathers. 62.5% of 1.3 million is 821,000 plus black men are fathers within that group. So black men aged 40 to 44, 2.9% of the population, black male population. 45 to 49, 49 age 49 is 2.6%. They account for 5.5% of the black male population. 80.5% of black men in that age group from 40 to 49 are fathers. That accounts for 888,000 plus black men are fathers in that category. So now that we have that spelled out, very simple, let's go here. So Basically, what you do from here is you just simply add those numbers up. So if you see here, I have the 15 to 19 numbers of black men, right? And then it all goes all the way to the 40 to 49 black men. So within that age group, or within all of those age groups from 15 to 49, 4.7 million plus black men within those age groups. Now, here's where the truth comes out. I have the numbers right here. These are all the numbers of the men in those age groups that have children. You guys just saw me break that down. Very simple. So you plus that, you go all the way down. 24,000, 391,000, 821,000 plus, 881,000 plus black men in those age groups. So here you go. From 15 to 49, 2.1 million plus black men have children. So what percent is, so 2.1 million plus percent is what percent of 4.7 million plus black men? That comes out to 44.52% of black men within those age groups have children. So what does that mean? 55.48% of black men do not, I repeat, do not have children. So when you see people trying to paint all black men as being deadbeats in regards to the numbers and all that type of stuff, it's not true, because the majority of black men do not have children. 55.48%. Let me show you something else. So I'm going to read out the children out of wedlock rates. We're going to talk about those numbers. So 19.91 million black men in America, 33% account for the black men who are married. You guys know that number. I've shared it multiple times. There are 33% of black men actually married out of that 19.91 million, which comes out to 6.5 million plus black men. That the actual number is 6,570,300 black men are married. 85% of that number are married to black women, which comes out to 5,584,755 black men married to black women. So if we know that 69.4% of all black children are born out of wedlock, that leaves 30.6% of black children are fathered by black men within marriage. So 30.6% of 5.5 million plus is 1.7 million black children are born within marriage. 13.2% of unmarried black men are making 69.4% of our children. And that's not even factoring in the black women who have children with other races of men. So if we were to just, this is crazy. If we were to factor in that percentage of black men or black women who have children with other races of men, then that would further increase the number of black men that don't have children. So me saying 55.48% of black men don't have children, it's actually higher, which is the first number that I quoted, which was 57.25%. So you can assume that that 2% difference was at less than 2% difference will account for the black women who have biracial children. So 55, 57. Was that right? All right, we good. So if any detractors, this is not to all black women, and this is not to all black men, because I've seen some black men giving pushback as well. If you have any questions, I want you to do the math for yourself. And also, let me show you something else. And I'm sorry, before I share this stuff, it may be unnerving, but I have to share it. So I'm just warning you guys prior to, we're going to discuss another variable. So I'm going to address this as respectful as I can. And these numbers actually alarm me. I'm going to talk about child deletions. So the reason why the Black numbers in regards to childbirths are so low is because of the fact that Black women actually lead in child deletions. These are the national statistics from 2020. More than 20 million Black babies have been deleted since 1973. Roe versus Wade, U.S. Supreme Court decision legalized deletions in our country. Non-Hispanic Black women have a significantly higher deletion rate, 23.8 per 1,000 women of reproductive age, than that of non-Hispanic whites, 6.6, and Hispanics, 11.7. You see that huge difference? 38.4% of all reported deletions in the U.S. in 2019 were performed on Black women. However, we only account for 13.4% of the population, the U.S. population. African Americans are no longer the nation's largest minority group. Today, Hispanics outpace Blacks in population growth. And the reason for that is because of child deletions. I know today that we're about to talk about heart disease and how that is the number one cause of deaths in the Black community. However, it's actually not true. It's child deletions. So if any of my statistics are unnerving and you wanted those numbers to increase, the best solution that I have for Black women in regards to this deletion rate is to please use protection, because child deletions are not a form of birth control, and too many of our women are using it as such. And this is not, I'm not talking about Plan B when I'm talking about child deletions. I'm talking about people actually going into the hospital and getting the procedure done. So my solution is to please use a little bit more discernment with the people that you lay down with. We have to be proactive. Preventative medicine, that is my field. So instead of using deletions as a form of birth control, we have to be proactive. Use protection. Wait till you get married before you have children, so we can lower that 69.4% of children at a wedlock rate. I take no pleasure in sharing this stuff because of the fact that we're all a part of the Black community. And I hate the fact that this stuff is used against Black men to the point where I have to go online and I have to break down statistics like I do. It doesn't give me any joy. All I'm trying to do is level set the conversation so the women that are detractors of Black men will hopefully understand and know the truth. And also to help Black men understand the truth about the majority of us. The majority of us are doing the right thing. 55.48% of Black men don't have children. So when we have this whole persona about Black men being deadbeats and things of that nature, it's just not true.
In the middle of a group with hundreds of other little young witches that ain't got no guidance and they just hasting. Honey, women, y'all, sitting here saying, drive him into hell. May he pay for what it is that he did to her. Even if you just made a simple mistake.
Look at all these women engaged in. It's not a game, yo.
You don't know what you're doing.
Hey, it's gonna be a lot of people that's not gonna want me to tell y'all. Men, you need to watch who you with. I'm in a whole lot of witch, oracle, empress.
She's into a whole bunch of witchcraft is what she's about to say. When I tell y'all there's real evil out here, I'm not bullshitting y'all.
Women coming into the craft type groups. It is hundreds. I have seen hundreds of pictures of you dudes.
She's seen hundreds of pictures of you men, you Black men. She's talking about Black women. Hundreds of pictures of y'all.
These women is putting inside of these groups, and on full moons and on new moons.
Hundreds of women in these groups. These women of Black witches are meeting, throwing your pictures in groups.
And full flat out spells on y'all because y'all out here being dirty. Look,
She said during the full moon and the new moon, they're casting full out spells on you men.
black man, tell that woman if you around with somebody else, like they straight up y'all lives up and y'all think it's some invisible God out here making you have car accidents, making you being stuck to a woman and you can't never let her go and you can't never get away from her because she didn't put blood in your motherfucker. Oh, she got you.
She put BLOOD in your food. I know y'all have heard about people. We're black, yo. And for the white folks that are in here and the non-blacks, listen, this is something that goes around. Our grandmothers and great grandmothers warned us about this. People sweeping your feet and stuff like this. It comes from somewhere. When I say evil is real, it's people out here. She's telling you right now, there are people out here. There are women out here plotting against you, your demise, man. She's telling you right now.
Show picture in the middle of a group with hundreds of other little young witches that ain't got no guidance, that ain't got
Hundreds of young witches that ain't got no guidance.
no type of structure and discipline over them, and they just hasting. You got 30 to 100 women, y'all, sitting here saying, drive him into hell. May he pay for what it is that he did to her. Even if you just made a simple mistake, you know.
Even if you made a simple mistake, they be going hard at you. They be going hard. Listen, look at this. I dare you to go to TikTok and put in black witches. When my family found out I detached from Christianity and I started doing hoodoo. Look at what they're doing, yo. Witch tip, banish a guest. Look at all these women engaged in. It's not a game, yo. Look, they got the brother in here. Aren't you afraid he's talking to other girls? Look at her putting the sage over him. Hold up, man. We got to watch this one. This is that bull right here. Look at this. While he's sleeping. It's not a joke, yo. These rudderless women are out here doing all kinds of stuff to y'all. Y'all better pay attention, man. You got chicks looking like this. Cute in the face, curly hair. Most of y'all would crack at her. I'd crack at her without the tattoos. You don't know what you're dealing with, man. There's evil in this world. When I hear the chick talking all that slave talk, I get it. You're just an evil bitch. Hey, I said it. You are. Maybe you need to kind of take her seriously because I don't understand why she would make this as a joke because the shit is not funny.
When you out here dating these women, you need to ask them what the they believe in.
Ask the women what they believe in.
I don't care. Just because she a Christian do not mean that she is not playing around with her witch friends and blood magic, the power of...
Listen to what she just said. Just because she's a Christian does not mean she's not playing around with her witch friends. How many of these lovely ladies do we know that have gotten themselves in situations where they play around with their friends and do dumb stuff, ride the train and all that stuff, get on the carousel, you know, raised in good homes and stuff like that, messing with the wrong people.
Blood. See that mother Jesus Christ? We know what the blood.
Love my Jesus now, but she's coming in on my Jesus. You gotta be careful. Go ahead, say what you gotta say.
We have always known. I'm telling you, black men, watch who you with. Almost every black woman know that if she want a man to put blood in his spaghetti, put that in his tea, what?
Put it in his spaghetti, put it in his tea.
Ever they out here doing it, and I'm watching them black men. Y'all better watch out themselves and start getting y'all life right. Quit playing with these women out here. They sinking y'all. All y'all the locked up. Y'all in some stuff out here. The future of the black man, these young black men, it's not looking good.
Yo, she's telling on them. Y'all don't know what you're up against.
Y'all need to get into y'all wisdom, into y'all own knowledge, and find out who you are. Find out who your ancestors are. Y'all out here fighting against even though y'all fighting against, like...
You're fighting against stuff that you don't even know that you're fighting, man. She's telling y'all, I'm a follower of Jesus, and she talk crap about Jesus, but she's telling some truth. I'm not in my feelings. I'm not offended by what she said. There's enough truth in this that it's worth me listening to.
Y'all out here fighting against shit, even though y'all fighting against this powerful as hell. Check your motherfucking food, check your tea, check your motherfucking toothbrush. Don't let no motherfucking body get no hair. Y'all better protect yourself. That's as much as I can tell you without going into other shit. Save yourself.
The title of this is Ex-Witch Warns Witchcraft Expanding, says Hollywood releasing spells over the viewers. Believe it or not, the cute light-skinned chick on the right is the ex-witch.
What's your take on Christians even burning sage, and what's that supposed to do? Burning sage is something that I did while I was practicing witchcraft.
How many of y'all, if you saw her on Hinge, if you saw her in Starbucks, how many of y'all would crack it? Crack it, shorty. I would.
And when I got into a home with another witch that I lived with, the very first thing that we did as witches is we got bundles of sage from the New Age store.
Yep.
We would burn sage to rid the house of evil. I thought, this is just what witches do. This is what people in the occult world do. This is what people in the New Age world do. There's so much mixture and it's passed down information that people don't know the origins. If we go all the way back, we can see that it is steeped in witchcraft where you're communicating with spirits, you're communicating with the dead, and you're trying to push these things back. But the only thing that will do that, the only thing that gets rid of evil is the spirit of our God.
I was wondering why no one thought to say and voice their opinion that when I look at these white men, they are the epitome of masculine, and watching some of these police officers manhandle these black men in the street is very attractive and it's a turn on, you know? And I'm wondering, does anybody else feel like that?
Hold on.
Yes, Lord.
Y'all off the chain, okay? Y'all are off the proverbial chain.
That's Discord talk.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Discord talk.
I was like, why has nobody said that? You know, because I'm like, that's masculine. You talk about masculine.
We say that all the time in Discord, Tanasia.
You say that for the back.
Yeah, you have to save that one for the back room when we got the door closed. I can't with y'all.
We use the hard R for long.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about, we say the hard R so hard, it sounds like we growling back there around this bitch.
Oh, Tanasia, you got to come back there with us.
I really want to know, what benefit does it pose to Black women? Like, how is this beneficial to Black women? Like, I get that for Black men, this isn't something that they would want, but who cares? Nobody really cares what they want. Nobody should care what they want at all. I certainly don't. No matter what's said here, I'm still not giving birth to a Black male. So there's that. But otherwise, you know, I want the pushback. I want to see why, especially from the males. I want to see why it is that they think that they deserve to be coming through the womb of the women that all they're doing is harming. The discussion that's going on is, you have a bunch of bandits with their 3 trash bags and their only desire to create baby mamas. They're running amok because they realize that despite the fact that they're sitting up there talking about they carry the seed, that no matter what type of seed they carry, they still need Black women to give birth to them. And to me, that's doing so, it's become past the point of problematic right now. As we speak, they're the trash bag bandit running among them. Yeah, as we speak, there's a bandit going bananas in St. Louis. And you guys know what? That wasn't the first time a Black man ran amok in St. Louis, being a predator towards women or children in the community. Apparently, there was one in 2002. From 2000 to 2002, so for 2 years, this Black man was running amok, preying on people between the ages of 12 and 17. He was caught in 2002. And it appears that we have that going on again, and we all know he's Black. There was, what popped up on my news thread, there was a story of this military man who also is likely Black, who decided to send his pregnant, I don't know if they were, if that was his wife or if they were just dating, but I do know that she was pregnant with his child. And he decided to send her to meet her maker right along with the child that she was carrying. And so that's a problem. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of problems that we're ignoring. The communities are unsafe because of Black men. We have no wealth. We've been subjugated. Like, a lot of people don't even know that before Black men went into the transatlantic slave trade,
they actually sold Black women out. Black women and children. So they've been doing this for a very long time. They're extremely arrogant. Even now, they're saying that they don't care. They're not concerned because they feel like there's no way Black women aren't going to stop giving birth to them. And for many Black women, that's true. My womb is off limits. I don't care how much they can cry. They can cry me a river of dust. It's not going to make me change my mind. I'm not going to contribute to the madness. I'm not going to contribute to the confusion. And quite frankly, I don't like their arrogance. But to stop giving birth to Black males doesn't necessarily mean you're giving birth to biracial children. So I don't know why they're looking at these as the same thing. A lot of people think we're advocating for people to just go out and round up Black babies, Black male babies that are already born, and nobody's saying that either. Like, I would never promote that because that's not anything that I could or would do. I would never try to harm a child that's already here. However, I think we should probably stop focusing on people being in their infancy stage, considering you spend the least amount of your time as an actual baby. Most of your life is going to be lived as an adult, actually. And so given that we know that, we're literally talking about these adult Black males who are running amok, who are arrogant, who are dangerous, who are the biggest threat to Black women because they're choosing to make themselves be that way. They're literally trying to go run up in people's apartment. Like, what did you think about that, Tanya? That dude who went and tried to force his way into that woman's apartment. Suggesting that you go around and round up Black male children who are already born and terminate them, that's a problem. It is not the same thing as being strategic about whether or not you want to even become impregnated with a male child. But I don't think it's unrealistic because people get abortions every day. And not only do people get abortions every day, but you can find out very early in your pregnancy whether you're having a male or female child, just like you can learn very early in your pregnancy whether you're having a child that will have an inherited genetic disorder and then terminate based on that. And many women do that as well. So I don't think that part is unrealistic. Neither is it unrealistic to grow a disdain for something that's causing great harm to you, whether it came from your womb or not. Because it's really highlighting the disdain that Black men actually have from Black women, despite coming from the womb of Black women. They know and understand that Black women give birth to them, especially now more than ever, because we're having the discussion about not giving birth to them. And they know that if we don't give birth to them, then they don't exist. So that hatred still is inherent in them, despite knowing that they lived in our wombs, or they live in our wombs and then we give birth to them. But I think the situation with Kevin Samuels actually shows why we should not be birthing Black males, really.
When you see a person who is of the same race as you, and if your disgust for them emanates mainly from the fact that they have the same race, because of the things that you've attributed with them and their race, if the racial feature is what is disgusting you and turning you off and all of that, I think that needs to be looked into. When we have people saying stuff like, I don't like Black male children, this is deeply problematic because it shows how easily people can be influenced into having these Hitler-esque points of view where they just now start talking about annihilating, causing harm, seeing a child and feeling disgust. Anybody who sees a baby innocent in this world and feels disgust, that is something deep-seated inside of that person that is off kilter. I don't think it's realistic that a woman will find out that she's pregnant and then when she finds out that the child is a male child, go and have an abortion. I just don't think that that's realistic. I think that it's problematic. I think that it speaks to a problem that's much larger than just having bad relationships or perceptions about society. I think that it speaks to an internal issue that people are having. Like when a person can, one, be of a particular race and have such deep-seated disgust and hatred for the counterpart of that race that is produced of their womb, there is some sort of refractory self-hate that is embedded in that opinion.